Welcome to Lombardi's Bar.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. Does he have a vintage moment in the end zone? It is caught for the lead.
The Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the third straight year.
What the hell's going on out here? Jones, look at that balance. Aaron Jones, see ya. Rodgers, four-man rush, gonna float it down the seam. Adams has it, and he's in. Touchdown, Packers. 2nd and 6. Zadarius Smith. The beat goes on.
Hello, Packer fans. How we doing tonight? Welcome into Lombardi's Bar. It is great to be a Packer fan because we are literally with the best start you could ever have as a football team, and that's 2-0. There's really nothing better you can be than 2-0 coming into week number 3, and that's where the Packers sit after a big week 2 win over the Detroit Lions. Welcome to Lombardi's Bar, everybody. I'm Dan Kotnick, your bartender. Thanks for joining us today. Should have a special guest joining us here a little bit later, but let's right now bring in the two guys that are always hanging around here at Lombardi's Bar and ready to talk about another division win for the Green Bay Packers. First, let's bring in Jimmy Christensen. Jimmy, how you doing after that week 2 win? Nothing better than 2-0, right?
I'm so pumped, man. It was such a good win too because it was so different than week 1. Week 1 was a passing attack. Week 2 was rushing attack. Has me amped.
That's right. I like that. And like just overall, like that felt like a more dominating performance. It felt like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's get this other guy in here. It's Todd Varney. Todd, how are you feeling after 2-0?
I'm feeling fantastic. Great game. My 3% of concern held solid throughout the game, even down 14-3, was still sitting at 3% concern, maybe even less at that point. So nothing to worry about.
Yeah. I'll tell this story real quick because I think I told it to you guys before off mic. So went to opening day last year. Vikings, Packers beat the Vikings. Packers go to 2-0. And leaving the game, there was a group of Vikings fans sitting in front of me that had been getting into it with the gentleman sitting next to me who had gotten me tickets, who happened to turn out to be a judge from Western Wisconsin. I don't know how high up or where he sat, but got into a little bit. And this Vikings fan's going on about referees, you know how Vikings fans are. Saying how that this was not a fair 2-0. It wasn't earned. And this gentleman said that he would do a lot for 2-0, and we'll just leave it at your imagination of what he said he would do to be 2-0. And I feel like sitting here 2-0, I would do. We didn't have to do much this time to get 2-0. This was a lot better than last year's 2-0.
It feels better.
It feels a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about this team too that just it's clicking different. I think it's just year 2 under LaFleur. I don't know. It's I'm pumped for this team. They just, I don't know. It's a little different swagger to them than last year.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I actually didn't realize until I saw in the chat. This is like, I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit. I forgot I had my TV on. It's sitting here in the background. I'm getting ready for game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And I didn't even realize that it's still sitting on. I'm trying to get like the bar atmosphere, like the TV's on at the bar, the sports bar and everything. Yeah, that's all I was trying to get.
We're gonna have a show quick, Dan, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Gosh, guys. I mean, like, I guess if we want to try and fit this in here real quick. I already told you that I've officially given up watching Masked Singer live now to do these shows. This is what I do for the people, is give up watching it live. I have to watch it on Hulu the next day. So
we're doing you a favor on that one, I think.
I'm a Masked Singer stan. I love it. But as we open up the bar here, guys, let's get today's drink special. Let's see what's the drink special today for Lombardi's Bar after a week 2 win over the Detroit Lions. Today's drink special is a little thing I concocted. We call that the Honolulu Blues because, for God's sake, if you listen to any Detroit Lion homer, they will make sure that you know their color is not blue, it is Honolulu blue. What goes into the Honolulu Blue today? It's 1 part Blue Curacao. We'll throw in 2 parts Sprite to kind of mix it out a little bit, add a little bubbly and little lime flavor to it as well. And the topper to it all off, 1 part Same Old Lions, because that was a same old Lions kind of experience on Sunday. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Same old Lions.
Are you drinking the Honolulu Blues, Todd?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad. Jeez. It was. I'm not gonna lie though. My nerves were much higher than Todd's 3%. Especially after that 14-3.
Yeah.
That little jump ahead, I was like, oh damn it, the Lions, man, they always come ready. Well, I guess that was last year, but what's crazy was Matt Patricia was 2-2 against the Packers. So at one point, that means he was 2-0 against the Packers, which is just insane because, as Jacob said, Matt Patricia's a boob, and just you would not expect him to be 2-0 against the Packers.
Which, like I said, that's an insult to boobs everywhere. Okay?
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's not fair. Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, no.
We should think man boob. Should we just call him a man boob? Or is that still insulting those?
Well, now I feel offended.
All right, I'm gonna move us completely off of this subject because our special guest has arrived here at Lombardi's Bar. This guy was holding down the defensive line in that Week 2 win in Lambeau against the Detroit Lions. It's Packers defensive lineman Kingsley Keke joining us here at Lombardi's Bar. Kingsley, welcome to Lombardi's Bar. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good,
Doing
man.
good. Doing good. You know what? Kingsley, I think, is the first guest that actually asked us how we were doing, which is nice. You know, it's nice to be reciprocated. Like
your teammates are jerks, apparently. Hey, but good news for you, man. The last people Kenny Clark came on, he ended up getting a huge contract. So we'll see what happens after you leave the show. So you might get a phone call from Goody and.
Hey man, just keep on working. I can get it.
That's right.
So before we jump into football, though, I do have a little NBA question for you. Last time we talked, you mentioned how you were a Houston fan. You think James Harden and Westbrook are gonna ever be successful together, or do you think they have to kind of jump ship on that?
I don't know. It's tough, man. Especially with like Mike D'Antoni being fired, not being fired, but he wanted to go somewhere else, right? Is that what he?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how that's gonna work out. But they're talented, man. I love the Rockets team. They got a lot of talent. It's just I don't know. I don't know if we just need somebody else or we just need like a better coach instead of doing like that like shoot the threes all the time and like try to get layups. Yeah.
Defense was not a focus point for you guys.
Yeah. We just switch everything.
Yeah.
Look, when you build a team around James Harden as your quote unquote star, like defense kind of takes a back seat for a little bit, right? Like that's not his strong suit. Defense.
I mean, he can play defense when he wants to, you know.
When he wants to.
Yeah. Like he can. He definitely has the ability to. He's big, but yeah. I mean, we definitely can be better on defense, though.
He's probably tired from all the threes and handles he's doing all the time. I get tired watching him, man. All his step backs, like 5 of 1 possession. I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you my inhaler.
Overwork himself, man, to get all the rebounds. I think we need a big man. I don't know. If small ball is the way, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'll call him if they need me. I can help out. I'm 6 foot, 80-inch vertical. No big deal.
But Jimmy plays like he's 7'1".
Yeah. I'm like Porzingis.
Yeah, Jimmy, can you shoot?
Can I shoot? God, no. I can shoot a layup. Get me in close to the hoop, man, and I will finger roll it in there just like that.
I'd love to see this.
So we're going to switch gears a little bit because I'm not much of an NBA guy. Kingsley, when you were younger, you spent some time, was about a year over in Nigeria. What was that like? I know you were probably pretty young, but why? What took you over there, and what were some of your kind of takeaways at a young age being over there?
So it wasn't just like me and my family that went. It was also my 3 older sisters that went to Nigeria as well. But they went before I went. I went in my 5th grade year. Basically, my family took me there just to see how like the way they grew up over there, and just basically compared to over here, it's like not to take anything granted because over there it's like really corrupted. The way school is, it's nothing compared to over here, man. So basically, this taught me like not to take anything for granted, like because basically sometimes people forget how blessed they really are, just because like people are living in a house, with a car, they don't think they're super rich, they want to like be in something fancy, but it's not about that. It's just you're blessed to be able to like have a job and work and just have little things in life that many people don't have.
Do you and your family have connections still back in Nigeria to this day? Like, do you go back to
Yes,
do
I do. I
continuous stuff?
Family over there for sure. I'll be going seeing them soon. Basically, even like all this COVID stuff going down. Yeah.
How long do you stay there when you usually go?
Oh, not too long. Just probably like a week or two. Just to see family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to get? This is a total random question. I don't like shots at all. Like, do you have to get shots when you go over there? Like malaria? Did I make that up? That's a thing, right?
To go if you want to go right now or
like malaria, isn't that a thing? Like getting a shot to like.
He's asking in general, yeah, like in general, not a global pandemic. Yeah,
yeah.
I got you. No, I'm not sure. They probably do have like shots going on right now. I'm not really sure about that, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shots freak me out. Go ahead. Sorry, that was a random question.
I'm not a shot guy either, man. But if I have to.
Oh yeah. Obviously, if you have to do it. But I was just saying those.
Yeah,
I'd find an excuse.
As well.
Jimmy's got a list of places that he won't travel to, and the only places he won't go is if he has to have a vaccine to get there. He's out.
Yeah.
Doctor, I was gonna say if Jimmy's go-to is a layup, like of course he doesn't have shots. He doesn't like shots.
Oh yeah. The worst thing.
Bring it around.
I had to get rabies shots once when I lived in China. I had to get 8 shots, 2 in the quad, 2 in the butt, 2 in the arm. That's and 4 in the arm, 2 in each arm. That was it. That was hell on earth. They had to go based off weight, and I was a fat boy back then, so I had a lot of shots.
On the butt? 2 on the butt?
2 on the butt, 1 in each cheek. And I had Chinese ladies who could not speak English, so it was very hard to communicate. It was a rough time in my life, Kingsley. It's a rough time.
That's very rough.
So, Kingsley, I want to jump to a completely different subject now, to a little bit more football related to your draft day story. Obviously, you wait a little bit. The call finally comes, and the Packers are taking you. You're going to Green Bay. What was the draft experience like for you? And then just talk a little bit about getting that call and finally figuring out where you're going to end up.
Yeah, I was with my family, at home. Just me and my family and like a couple of friends. I wanted to be like really people who I really just like that love me and have care for me, So I really wanted just to be around them. And I was just waiting, every day. I was there day 1, day 2, and day 3. My family was there with me. My friends were there with me as well. I was confident about my name being called. I wasn't sure when. I figured day 2 or day 3, but it happened on day 3. So it is what it is. But I'm here to still work. And I was happy on the day that I got the call. I was really crying with my family. They're also just tears of joy as well. So So it was a special moment. But yeah.
Well, we're happy those 31 other teams are idiots and passed on you because we're happy to have you in green and gold. Are you going to be like Draymond Green and just memorize the name of every player drafted ahead of you and just use it as motivation?
That's like memorizing the pi digits.
I was going to say, you got a lot.
That's a lot. But
I'll just let the tape speak for itself.
That's right.
I got you, man.
Was there like an ideal spot or situation you were looking for, or were you just wherever you went, you were going to make it work?
I was pretty confident about like the Cowboys and the Texans, and I was really confident about the Patriots as well. I had a real form over there. But yeah, I wasn't sure about the Packers. They really weren't like what I was expecting. But
Yeah,
I'm happy it happened though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So from draft day to now, so last season you had some time getting onto the field, but nothing compared to this season, especially last game. Like that was the game that you had your heaviest workload. How was that for you? Just going into a game where the expectation kind of stepped up for you. You were kind of expected to fill the shoes the best you could of one of the best D linemen in the NFL. How was that?
Oh yeah, it was fun. You know, it was attacking it the right way. Basically, it was started with my preparation. You know, just watching film. You know, just making sure I can. You know, I'm on my P's and Q's, basically to attack. You know, to attack their offensive line. It started off basically just having a good practice. You know, every day, stacking each day, and taking it to the game day. It's pretty much what it is. I felt confident, you know, because I know I work hard for this, and I was, so I feel good.
How sore was your body after a game?
Oh yeah, yeah, it was really sore, man. I'm starting to understand.
Yeah,
how a lot of dudes be feeling. Yeah.
Has that changed for you guys all? Because I guess I don't know if I saw that anywhere, but like obviously with new protocols in place for COVID and things like that, what happens to you guys afterwards, like training wise, like tubs, rub downs, things like that? Like, does that change for you guys after a game in the middle of all this?
Basically, like you talking about after like forgetting if you're hurt. Like for practice?
Yeah, like whatever your typical kind of like post game regimen is, like seeing the trainer, doing whatever it is. Like, does that change at all?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, sometimes sometimes I head home, but sometimes I may get like in the cold tub. Depends on how I'm feeling really after the game. If I'm feeling really sore, but definitely all the guys that play a lot, they definitely feel it the next morning. They'll be really sore. They're coming in, so. Mostly we try to get like a flush out for our system, to get things going again. You want to get all that soreness out. So that's pretty much what most guys do. And then getting like a hot tub and cold tub.
Did you ever try that like cryotherapy? That thing where you have to like wear those special shoes and
Oh yeah, I did that in the off season. But I don't do it up here though.
No. I was gonna say just go outside up here. That's good enough, man. It's cold as hell in Wisconsin.
Man, it's cold. I'm used to that Texas heat, man.
Right?
Yeah, we don't have that up here.
No heat.
No.
So let's talk about that Lions game just a little bit more. And I don't mean to keep bringing Kenny Clark back into this, but it's something that a lot of fans think about is Kenny goes down and immediately the eyes turn straight to Kingsley Keke to be that next guy up and to see how that kind of how that defense works a little bit differently. So when you kind of fill in that role and you kind of become that guy on the defensive line, how do you handle that? How does that change for you? Just kind of walk us through how that's different being the guy instead of coming in and sort of being more of a second replacement or a complementary to Kenny.
Yeah. I mean, I try to just attack it the right way. I know Kenny was hurt, all those people who may be scared that he wasn't going to play, but I was confident myself. Regardless, I prepare for this. I prepare hard every day. I work hard at practice. So I'm just gonna let the tape speaks for itself, on my part. So I wasn't scared or anything. It was just being prepared.
Nice.
Now they said Coach LaFleur said coming out of halftime he gave the defense a little bit of a talking to. What were some of the takeaways from that?
You can plead the fifth if you want. You can.
Not that at all. It's not that. My bad. I have a friend here. He's he was doing some funny stuff.
Is it? Hey, real quick, is it Rashawn?
No.
Okay, because last night, Jimmy did an interview with Jamal Williams, and he asked him what the most, which bromance was the strongest on the team, and he said, Jamal said it was you and Rashawn Gary. He said everywhere you guys are together, just nonstop. So what's that like? You guys coming in, both rookies last year, and obviously kind of playing that backup role throughout it, and then working in and getting more time this year. What's it like just having a guy like that to be your buddy and kind of hang out with and go through those lumps together?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. We came in the same class. We didn't really know each other before, but we built a bond from there, and it kept going. But yeah, it could be a pretty special bond. We work hard. We both, try to motivate each other on ways we can, be better on the field and just as a leader, and just ways we can be better overall in anything. So, but yeah, we're building a bond, a brotherhood, pretty much, and we're just gonna keep working hard and keep working hard.
So before we send you out of here, because I know, especially if you're hanging out with friends and stuff, I just want to ask quick. I know you mentioned before, and you have worked out with Tremont this offseason, and you said he was a big impact for you, just how to be professional on and off the field. But now that you're back in Green Bay, are you still talking with him?
Oh yeah, we conversated before. We conversated twice since I've been down here. Pretty much been checking on me, how I've been doing, making sure I'm doing okay, making sure I'm doing good, how to attack, what I'm doing right, what I'm not doing wrong. But just overall life conversations, ain't nothing crazy, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he's ever going to be, because just from what you said and a lot of the other DBs, he's just a great mentor. Do you think he's ever going to be a coach?
A lot of knowledge, man. Yeah, he has a lot of knowledge, man. So he's a great mentor, man. So yeah.
Do you think he's going to have
he could be a coach, man? Something like that. I think he should make a documentary about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because his story is crazy, man. People don't understand his story is seriously crazy. Yeah.
Well, talk to him, man. Tell him to come on Lombardi's bar. There's no other place to talk about it.
Do it. Yeah,
we'll have a drink. We'll let him talk. I'll shut up.
That's how we operate best. When the three of us shut up and the guest tells us about themselves, and that's exactly what happened here. Kingsley, really appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk with us, especially in the heat of the beginning of the season here. So we really, really appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to plug to people or let people know where they can follow you out on social media and everything?
Yeah, y'all can follow me on Instagram. It's Kingsley. It's _Kingsley with 3 Y's at the end of it. My Twitter handle is obviously buckets all day. I don't know if y'all get buckets like me, but
are you going to the Rockets now? Is that the thing?
I'm gonna be like MJ,
leave for a season. Come back. Yeah, that's right.
Leave for a season, come back.
All right, that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, Kingsley, again, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll let you go, and you've always got a spot here at Lombardi's Bar if you ever want to come back. Thank you.
Thank you for sure. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Kingsley. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kingsley. All right. So again, a huge thank you to Kingsley for stopping by. I can't stress enough doing it in the middle of the season like this to make time for a show like us. That's huge. Big props to Kingsley there.
Did you guys catch what he was saying about being a good friend, building that bond, the brotherhood thing? Go back and rewatch that. I want you guys to just think about that with our little team here. I think there were some good takeaways that you guys could get there.
See, what's weird is, I heard him talk and I was like, you know what? I don't feel that way towards Todd. The whole time, that's what I was thinking.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, guys. Okay, I don't feel the love. I know it's not there. Let's work on that. Let's work on it.
I don't want to. I got other shit to do, man. I'm busy.
That's right.
All right, let's get back to football before we just bash Todd the whole time.
Well, I think so. We just finished up looking at the drink specials today, so we're jumping into. So last week, going into week number 2.
Yep.
looking at the pay of the tab, who we were looking to step up last week. Todd, you were calling out Christian Kirksey. Jimmy, you were looking at Jay Sternberger, and I was looking at MVS. I think it's arguable. It's arguably, I don't know. English is tough, right?
Fair to say. That's a synonym phrase.
It's fair to say is how people talk. That all three of those really didn't pay the full tab, did they?
I thought MVS did fine. He had that one little missed time jump in the end zone, but besides that, Jace definitely didn't pay he didn't step up. And he knows he had a rough game, so I'm not going to harp on him too much. He put on Twitter right away. He was like, "You'd think I have like brick hands."
Don't worry.
Drink that.
Don't worry.
This is the first episode that I'm not drinking it, so it's a milestone.
What was
these run out of their $3 wine?
Yeah.
No, I had to cut weight for Saturday, so I can't have. I'm alcohol free till Friday night. Once I weigh in, that's the first thing I'm doing is having a beer. Is
there a live stream of this event? Because I want to see this.
Yeah, it's I'll share it out on Twitter, but it's called like I know it's in Iowa. I'll share a link. I don't know. I think it's like beef something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see this.
So you guys can see me get punched in the face. But yeah, no, Jace definitely didn't step up, man. I felt the first drop, I was like, all right, his nerves, he's finally getting into it this year. Then his second drop, and I was like, dude, he's in his head. You just gotta wait till next week and try to give him some easy stuff. But
I was rewatching the game today, and legit, like I just had it on as I was working, and I looked over, and I was watching the All 22, and it was his first drop, and I just audibly was just, what? Like,
yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah,
that one wasn't a good look.
Yeah,
Kirksey, I'm still gonna say didn't really. I think from him, I'm waiting to have kind of that here's why you signed me moment and that game from him. And he didn't play bad. He hasn't played bad in either game. I haven't really noticed him. And I'm waiting to see that from him where he really just stands up and you see him kind of show up and make a difference.
Yeah. He kind of seems like he's really just sort of like a slight step above Blake Martinez. He's I think it was Eli Bergovitz, friend of the show and also fellow Game On Wisconsinite. Let's talk about this for a second, real quick.
This was a birthday present from my buddy Ed, who owns the majority of the memorabilia behind me here. He knows how much I love Blake Martinez, so that was. We'll just put this up right here. That was
so nice.
That was my birthday present from him. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
But yeah, you guys are right. Like he hasn't made that explosive play yet. Like your welcome to Green Bay kind of play yet. So
yeah, he's not messing it up, but he's not surprising anyone. Like damn. So
yeah, exactly. Well, should we take a look at this week, guys?
Absolutely. And Nick,
talk about.
Let's say, Nick, can you bring up Andy Gilbert's comment? The answer is yes. I'll definitely get a drink with you afterwards, man.
Do a meet and greet?
So if you're there, let's definitely link up, dude. Yeah, I'll have you sign me. You can autograph my chest. It'll be better.
And probably worth more than Jimmy's.
Yeah, my autograph. You want to get that burned off ASAP. All right, let's go buy some rounds, man.
All right, let's buy a round. Buy a round for that week 2 performance. Let's look on the positive here. So, Jimmy, let's start with you.
My first one's going to be Rick Wagner. I'm definitely buying his round for sure. Just because I think partly because I had low and that sounds bad, but I kind of had low expectations when he was going into the game. I got nervous with Billy Turner being out, but he's done really well. Last week he's been rocking it. So I'm definitely giving it to Rick Wagner. He stepped it up. I've been really impressed with him. Todd, just go ahead, man. I can't.
Yeah, let's get Todd in here. Let's do it.
I'm gonna buy a round for our best friend Trey, best friends by extension through my best friend Jamal. Had a day. Like Devontae said, it's always a good time to watch the Aaron Jones show. So that's who I'm buying around for, which is I think the second time in 3 weeks that he's been on my tab. So
Yeah,
He's drinking. That guy's drinking for free so far at Lombardi's bar. Like the start of these first 2 weeks of the season, we'll take care of you. The first 2 weeks after that kind of performance. So I am going to go defense, and I am going to go Rashawn Gary. I'm going to buy a round for Rashawn Gary because he is quietly having a better defensive season than either of the Smith brothers right now. Yeah. Arguably, he's leading the team in quarterback pressures. At least he did week number 1. He had, I think, a sack and a half this past week, and had the pressure that forced Matt Stafford into throwing that pick 6 to Shannon Sullivan. It's time to start looking at Rashawn Gary and at least taking notice. I don't think, there's going to be lots of people that say he's still not living up to his round 1 grade. That's fine. That's very fair. But you at least have to see what he did these first 2 weeks and say that is arguably that is definitively better than what we saw in year 1. Year 2, Rashawn Gary.
100%. He's been killing it so far this year. Like you said, leading the team in pressure, sack and a half last year. And you mentioned it too. He forced that throw from Stafford that Chandon Sullivan picked off. And just an easy plug here, Chandon Sullivan. If you want to hear all about that pick 6 tomorrow and everything on Open Book tomorrow with Eli and Zach, Chandon Sullivan's going to be joining them live. So you can hear all about that pick 6, how Gary impacted that throw, and how Chandon just fell into the end zone like a gracious angel.
and Rashawn had pressure on Cousins in week 1 on Jair's pick too, didn't he?
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, look at you, Todd. I'm starting to want to show you love now. That was impressive.
I got notes on the inside of these glasses.
You got notes on? Is that how you'd use that to cheat in high school?
Yeah. And these glasses were big back then too. It was like 83.
I love that Todd is wearing these glasses, and then directly behind him are the glasses that he had for the Jair glasses.
Unfortunately, I still have them because I haven't hit 450 followers yet. So
we have
just
to
heads up at the Todd V on Twitter. Tell your friends, make dummy accounts, burners, everything. Just follow that one.
And Josh Packer made a good point. He said Za'Darius is in the middle. He's definitely been in the middle more, but that's not a spot that's been new to him, right? He's done that in Baltimore, in Green Bay last season. He is doing a little bit more now with Clark not playing last week, but you still expect a little bit more production, I guess, pressure-wise. And it's not even just him. It just seems our whole defensive line as a unit is just not getting pressure. Until that second half, I felt like Matt Stafford could have done like push-ups, got up and thrown the ball for like 50 yards. So I definitely get your point, John, but I still think there's room for Za'Darius to step up here.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and also too, I don't want to go too hard on the Smith brothers because the season they had last year, coming out and just taking the NFC by storm they did, there's going to be a downgrade from that this year just by sheer law of averages. You can't just keep producing at the level they did last year. So they're, not saying that they're doing bad, but, it's not what we were seeing last year. And if you're looking at the person that stood out on the defensive line so far, Rashawn Gary is kind of that guy.
Yeah. And they're just getting focused on more, double teams. Like you said, they were such an impact last year. Now offensives are focusing on the Smith brothers. If you can stop that pass rush, like we saw with the first quarter of the Detroit game, your offense can do pretty well.
Yeah. And two, with Kenny Clark being out, you don't have to focus on him. He helps that situation out a lot. Let's go negative, guys. Let's pay the tab. Who needs to pay their tab after week number 2? Let's go. I'm trying to think what was the name of the guy from Star Trek that had the glasses? You know what I'm talking about?
Not a Star Trek guy.
No,
he was
never seen it.
But I tell you, you know what?
He did Reading Rainbow and
in these glasses, I might be because I feel like a different person right now. I'm telling you, it's taken on a whole new persona with me, and it might not be good. So let's give me the 450, and I'll throw these glasses in with those ones and get them the hell out of here. pay the tab for me. It's got to be the safeties this week. It started out on that first drive. There was the pass over to Hawkinson, and both safeties hit him, and neither one wrapped up, and he continued on to gain more yards on it. And I feel like that's just been the majority of the plays that they've been involved in is missed tackles, missed coverages, just not being where they're supposed to be. And for, the hype that they had coming into the season, and they both had great seasons last year, I think we need to see more out of them.
LeVar Burton, that is the guy from Star Trek. Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Bob.
Bobby, coming through in the chat, LeVar Burton, and also host of Reading Rainbow.
Gosh.
Jimmy Rainbow.
That's right.
Gosh, Todd.
Pipe.
Beautiful.
I know. I'm
Nick, if you can get a graphic of LeVar Burton in Star Trek and throw it in here at some point, I appreciate it. Jimmy, go ahead and pay the tab.
All right, my pay the tab for this one is the first quarter defense. It's been 2 weeks in a row now against the Vikings. That first drive especially, Dalvin Cook just drove down on them. This last one against the Lions, the first 2 drives, just able to do whatever they wanted. To the defense's credit, they made some adjustments, and they were able to make a stop. It was critical. Like, once we got one stop, it kind of seemed like we started rolling. It was kind of the same thing with the Vikings. Once we got that safety, our defense seemed like they finally got a little bit more confidence and were able to stop them. And this week it was after that holding call, and they ended up having to punt it back to us. I think that was kind of the turning point for our defense too, and then coming out of the half strong. But our first quarter defense, specifically our first drive defense, just has to step it up. I know it's only going into week 3, but right now teams are 100% scoring a touchdown on their opening drive. So hopefully we can get that fixed as the season goes on.
And I'd like to point out and gloat a little bit, something that I never do, especially on this show. As my fantasy pick of the week last week, I said pick the defense. And all the defense did was finish tied for third most defensive points in ESPN fantasy leagues.
Really?
4 sacks, an interception, pick 6, and held 21 points. So believe. I went back and rewatched last week's show, and I could see the chat scrolling and everyone getting on me about picking the defense. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Give that defense.
You think it was a coincidence that we scrapped that segment?
Yeah, we're like, God, Dan's gonna get too cocky.
All right, Dan was right. Let's boot it.
Yeah.
So for my pay the tab, it's really not anything big, and I don't want to make it a big thing because I do not claim to be an expert in play calling or offensive strategy or anything. I leave that to people a lot smarter than me. But Matt LaFleur and AJ Dillon, because I just it seems the last 2 weeks we've gotten to points where the Packers were in the lead comfortably. Not that they were completely running away. This past week they did. But even in week number 1, there was a period of time where you felt comfortable in what the Packers were doing offensively and where they were sitting at with the game. And I would just like to kind of see a little bit more A.J. Dillon at times, especially when you get down to the goal line in different situations. Like, again, I don't claim to know what the idea behind it is or what the thought is. I defer always to Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff. But I just would like to kind of see a few more opportunities, especially early on, because that's where we kind of want to see what A.J. Dillon can do. We didn't have it at preseason. These are the games where we get to kind of see what he's about,
Yeah. He's kind of in a tough spot too, though, because Aaron Jones obviously was going off. Jamal too, 8 carries for 63 yards, and he was averaging at 1.10 yards a carry. So at what point is putting A.J. Dillon in, and not saying he wouldn't have had the same production, but when you have 2 guys in there that are going in and averaging 7-8 yards a carry, it's kind of hard to take that away from those 2.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I don't want to make it a big thing.
Well, too late. You already did.
For as much as I'd love to see a lot more A.J. Dillon, I think keeping his mileage down too. We've mentioned it before where he had a lot of carries in college, and I think Matt LaFleur knows he's going to lean on him a lot in the future. without those preseason games to get used to getting hit in the NFL and playing there. Really just kind of work him into it slowly. Let's keep him fresh because, I mean, a defense trying to hit him in Lambeau in December, that'll be fun for us to watch, not for them to try and tackle.
I did appreciate, speaking of the running backs, Jamal Williams using the phrase "run through an MFer."
Oh my gosh.
God, that is, I love just that. If you like that clip of the Marshawn Lynch interview where he's just talking about, like, if you just hit it to over again, it's like, what do you think that means? Run through a motherfucker. Yeah, it's like that. Jamal has that Marshawn Williams kind of like swag.
That's what I'm gonna call him now.
Marshawn Williams. Marshawn Williams. But it should be Marshawn Williams now.
I put during our show, the Jamal show yesterday, I put up the Marshawn Lynch, my Marshawn Lynch jersey I have. That man is one of my, I almost murdered Jacob yesterday because he said he doesn't like Marshawn Lynch. And I was like, oh my gosh. I love Hadley and then Marshawn Lynch. Like, he's close to overtaking my daughter in the place in my heart. So
I will say, so if I can take this back real quick, I was running student radio at Bowling Green State University, 2010, the year that we won the Super Bowl. And I distinctly remember on like this tiny little sports radio show that I had that 2 people listened to, me and this co-host, we were talking about Marshawn Lynch being traded to Seattle. And I made the declaration that week, the Packers will not win a Super Bowl because it's obvious they are not trying, because they're not picking up a guy like Marshawn Lynch when you lose Ryan Grant, and they won't even make the playoffs. Shut me the hell up, which I definitely appreciated. So, but then ever since then, like, that's the Marshawn Lynch train. I'm on it.
I love Marshawn.
Let's talk about this week, guys. Matchup we're most excited for this week 3 game against the Saints. This is the litmus test, right?
Yeah.
Like this is where we find out. So, what matchup are you guys excited to see this week?
So one big, and we're talking about running backs right now. I'm going to have to go with the Packers run game against the Saints defense. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we have a commitment to it, but we still have Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to do what the defense gives us. Like week 1, it was a passing game. Devontae tore them up. Week 2, they tried to shut Devontae down. Aaron Rodgers saying they had 2 high safeties. They double teamed Devontae most of the time. So it's going to be interesting to see what our run game can do again, if that's going to be the focus point this week. But I'm excited to see what performance Jamal and Aaron have in store again for the Packers. Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to Za'Darius getting in Drew Brees' face.
Yeah.
It's never a good thing when, regardless of the situation, what was said, it's never a good thing when a pass rusher throws up when he plays you. I mean, talk about bulletin board material.
Oh my gosh.
He's been looking forward to this for quite a while. Let's go for it.
I will go offense with mine. I'm excited to see what the offensive line does against the pass rush for the Saints. Because and maybe you can expand this even to more just like the offense in general, because there were a lot of times on that Monday night game that the Saints had 1-2 guys that seemed like they were just running completely untouched into the backfield. But the Raiders knew exactly where they were going. They had the plan to make it work no matter what was being thrown at them. It seemed like the Raiders offense could do basically whatever it wanted whenever it wanted to. If it wanted to run, it was able to run. If they wanted to throw passes to Waller or whoever, they were getting that done. If they wanted to take a shot down the field to Ruggs at the end of the game, they were able to get that to work. So I want to see how Aaron Rodgers, notorious for being great against the blitz, how he does against the pass rush for the Saints. Because Cam Jordan is not a guy to mess around with.
Yeah. And I'm one to kind of add to, now just thinking about it, you mentioning Waller, is could be a huge week for our tight ends to step up and shut a lot of people up. So like if Sternberger has a bounce back game, Tanyan, he scored last week, he could be another focus point for this offense. So this is a big game for tight ends, and I'm happy to see DeGuara practice today and making his way back. So that'd be definitely a position group to watch this week.
Yeah, definitely. All right, before we get to our beer bets, guys,
sure.
it's time for what, Todd?
Oh, real quick, Nick, can you pull up Uncle Bob's little mention there of Kamara?
You're right.
So that's definitely something to key on. I mean, he's just a fun guy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I actually wrote in depth about how AP was going to tear us apart. And that was really the 3% concern that I had was AP going off and just taking over the game like he's done in the past. That didn't happen. Matt Patricia clearly listened to the show, wanted to just throw me off. So I'm going to say it right now. Kamara is just going to have a day against us. He's going to go nuts. Sean Payton, I know he's watching. What else are you going to do, right? If it's not Kamara, who's it going to be? Yeah. So watch out for that.
It'll be interesting because a lot of the stuff that kind of stopped the run game for us week 1 was we took a lead and then they couldn't really run the ball as much as they wanted. And even last week after the first half, we had the lead, so they couldn't really rely on the run. But it showed even last week, the first drive, I know they had that play to Hawkinson, but then even later on in the game, AP bounced that run on the outside. So it's definitely still a weak spot, and hopefully – I know Clark didn't practice today, but even LaFleur said he'll play Clark even if he doesn't practice this week if he feels he's ready to go Sunday. So that he's going to be a critical part to that defense if we can get him back.
Yeah, and that kind of runs. I want to give some props. I know we don't like doing this here, but to Jacob Westendorf.
No.
He had a little interview down south in the Bayou with some Saints guys. And he actually made a reference that I thought really was apt, was comparing this team to those Colts teams from like the early 2000s, like the ones that were always going toe-to-toe with Tom Brady early on in those dynasties, where they would they would go out big on teams. They would get a lead, 14 points, 2 possession games, and force teams to be one-dimensional offense and just have pass rushers that can just clear guys out and execute like a one-dimensional style game. And that's what the game plan has been the last 2 weeks. If it's not for the big leads, Matt Patricia probably sticks with that run a little bit more this past week, and who knows how that kind of ends up. So I thought that was just a really nice comparison for what this Packers team is, at least early on.
He's still stuck.
Yeah, he's still stuck. That's speaking of app comparisons. Yes, Todd should definitely be on the Jersey Shore with.
That's a compliment.
I actually was back in the day. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm sorry.
What was your name? What was your Jersey Shore name? What people call you?
Shades.
LeVar.
Shades.
LeVar. Can we bring up Dave's comment? Put one in there. His question about Keke or to Keke. 10 times out of 10, Keke under 30-second knockout.
Yeah.
I'll be on the floor.
Did you see him? I mean, like you see Jimmy right now.
I'm gonna walk out of the cage.
Kingsley.
Did you see that boxer that right when the bell rang, he got out of the ring and walked away? I would do that with Keke. I would climb the fence and just be like, "You win, dude. I'm out. Good for you."
The Kid and Little Giants just running in circles.
Yeah, exactly.
With it being MMA, do you instantly just like tap out like you're like this? You just go like, no, tap. I'm done.
No, we're out. That's what I should do. The guy I'm facing has like face tattoos and stuff, so he already wins the intimidation battle.
That
is
I have
R.I.P. Jimmy.
Yeah, I have an elephant tattooed on me. That's the most intimidation I have. So I'll just do this.
It's not a teardrop, is it?
No, it's some words up here and then something right here. I don't know. It's not my flavor. But
I've got to watch this.
Do what you gotta do, dog. Do what you gotta do.
Before we get to our bar bets, let's get to my favorite segment of the week, and that is our drunk tweet of the week. And today, it's not necessarily a drunk tweet. I did find it on Twitter, but let's throw this up here. This came from PFT. Throwing up their week 3 power rankings. You can see the Packers down there at number 6. Like, that's fun. That's cool.
Yeah,
Top
great.
10. Can we zoom in on what that says? better than they were last year. Imagine how much better they'd be if they used their first-round pick on a receiver. Better than double-digit wins over division opponents and double 40-point games.
Gosh.
Where
It doesn't make sense.
I know these guys don't watch the games. Do they even look at the score?
They didn't look at the box score either. They're probably like, oh, it was the defense did it. The offense sucked.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like I just don't.
Would they have scored 60?
That from right? Like what more do you want out of them? The only thing I can think of like that's a troll job. Like you can't seriously be sitting there and doing that. Like as a serious person, that has to be a troll. But it does qualify as drunk tweet of the week.
Yeah, look at the other teams that took a receive. The Vikings, Justin Jefferson, they're 0-2 and have Kirk Cousins had a 0 passer rating at one point last week. Like with that first round wide receiver didn't really help them there. The 49ers, I know they have a bunch of injuries. They're 1-1. Like teams that took a first round receiver really aren't doing that great. I guess I was gonna say the Steelers, but their receiver is the second round. It's not, I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense.
Cowboys, Raiders.
Yeah. But
even that, I mean, how much is Lamb seeing?
Lamb is actually doing fairly okay. He's not, but like that's the thing is there's not going to be.
He's not the guy
that comes out there and be the guy, and he wasn't going to be the guy here. He's going to be number 2 at best. Like if he came out and blew it away, he's number 2 at best. So
well, and I think it says a lot about the front office too. I mean, they did it with the defensive line, clearly believing in the guys that are there. Same thing with the wide receivers. They believed that Lazard, MVS, Equimanius, they were going to take that step forward and be the guy. So,
yeah. And it's not, and producer Nick had a great point in the chat. He said, Cowboys really should be 0-2. Like that was incredible. Like that onside kick. Like, I don't know. And even I don't know. Ruggs is helping the Raiders, but also Josh Jacobs is a huge focus point, and they have Waller. Like Ruggs is a number 2 to Waller. Lamb, like you guys have all been saying, these guys have come in and been number 2, number 3 in some circumstances. Like first round 10, that guy is just a butt munch, as my sister would say.
The only thing that really could have made I don't like enjoying the Cowboys doing well, but like you have to appreciate the absurdity of that onside kick.
Oh, 100%.
Perfect.
Yeah. Falcons, man, they can't help blow leads.
You know what you're going to get from them. Like Bomani Jones has said it before. Like, what more do you expect from the Falcons? They're going to keep doing this to you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, let's get some beer bets, guys. And let's start by going out. Yeah.
28-3.
Oh, nice. 28-3. Exactly. Let's get our beer bets in here. Last week, guys. Well, our first one we have not been able to figure out yet, or haven't seen the determination of how that plays out yet, because it was Woodson or Leroy Butler getting to the Hall of Fame. We won't see that till the end of the year.
Yeah.
But the two that did pertain to the game, Lions having a 100-yard rusher. You both went yes, and you went big yes. I went no. And the Lions did not have a 100-yard rusher.
Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you.
You had a great show last week, Dan. Nice job.
Yeah.
Did not. Yeah, it was not this week.
Oh, don't let Nick do that shit. Tom Brady, man.
Yeah,
what a loser.
The next one from last week, Packers lead for more than half the game. We all went yes, and the Packers did do that, which is excellent. So looking at it, I think if we're looking at this straight up about who sort of finished last in the beer bets last week at Todd, I think that might be you, buddy, because of Mr. High Roller going big time. So finish off that Honolulu Blues there.
Yeah, buddy.
That just looks like that stuff at like the old barber shops where they put all their tools into
Barbicide. I think it's called.
I don't think it's Barbicide.
1000% chance I made that up.
It sounded good.
I don't know what the hell that was.
I almost invested in it.
Let's look at this week, guys, for week number 3 against the Titans. The first one, this one we have to talk about. It sets up perfectly for a bar bet. Yes or no? Taysom Hill scores against the Packers in week number 3.
Yes. Five Bakhtiaris, yes.
5 Bakhtiaris.
Yeah. That guy is such a weapon, and this is such a big game, and coming off a loss last week, they're going to find a way to get him in the end zone.
Has he – I should have looked this up, but has he actually scored yet this year? Because I don't think that he scored in that Raiders game. I know there was a couple of times that he got close. They wanted – like it was a goal line situation, but he got stopped. So I don't know if Taysom Hill has scored yet this season or not. But yeah. Jimmy, yes. You're going 5 Bakhtiaris. Todd, what about you?
Just Googled it. It is called Barbicide.
Thank God we know that.
Corey is in the chat saying it's Barbicide as well. But I don't believe
Uncle Bob said Barbasol.
That's That's a type of shaving cream. A brand, if you will. I'm gonna go
a brand, if you will, as if like you just made that up.
I'm a different person right now.
I got a new word for you guys. It's called a brand.
I'm a brand. Think about this. Follow me.
Oh God, I quit.
Todd, yes or no?
Bakhtiaris, no, he's not going to score.
You're going 5. He doesn't score.
Correct.
Okay, great radio or great television. Good job.
No, I don't think he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't get used enough. He's just. I don't think that. I mean, look at how teams have scored against us this year. It's been either on the ground or it's been to wide receivers late. I don't see him doing either of those things.
Yeah, I will say yes, just because Taysom Hill is like what is the? Oh, I just completely. What's the rule? If anything that could possibly happen.
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law. He is Murphy's Law incarnate. Like it'll happen. Anywhere he's going to figure out to make things happen. Like he'll make it happen. So I'll say yes. I'm only going to go 3 Bakhtiaris on this. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play a little bit conservative.
So if he throws a touchdown, that counts, right? Or does he have to run? Okay.
Yeah. If he is on the stat sheet in any way, scoring wise. He could recover an onside kick and run it back. Whatever he wants to do, he'll do it.
Oh, the former Packers just pairing up.
Like Eddie said in the chat, revenge game for Jared Cook. Jared Cook revenge game.
I thought you mean it was the Taysom Hill revenge season. SZN.
SZN. Dude, Packers Twitter will burn if anything happens. They get mad about so many things.
Yeah, you saw what they looked like after the first quarter this last week.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. Over under our next one. Over under 1 sack combined between the two Smith brothers. We kind of like talked about that a little bit when we were talking about Rashawn Gary and the defensive line. So do the Smiths combine for 1 sack over under 1 sack?
5 Bakhtiaris over. I mentioned it. Z's got a little extra motivation. He's been looking forward to this. He's going to get at least 1. I think Preston's been pretty quiet. He'll get in there. I think they're going to have a party in Drew Brees' face.
Yeah. For some reason, I instantly went straight to pants just because of like Anchorman. Like you're invited to a party in my pants.
Grow up, pervert.
Yeah, grow up. No, I'm going to go yes as well. It's ones that Darius has obviously had this marked down. Preston has been quiet. He had that half sack last week, but it hasn't been the Preston of 2019. So I think this is going to be the big game, prime time, Sunday night football. He's going to come out and make a big statement. The Smith brothers are back and ready to mess you up, run through a mother effer's face.
How many about
Jimmy?
5.
Jimmy, you said it. Preston hasn't really done much. Kirksey hasn't done much. Our safeties haven't. Like this defense for the number of playmakers that we have on that side of the ball. There's a lot of guys that have been quiet so far, and when they when they get rolling, when they all start to click, I think that, we're gonna see a different defense, which is giving me a little bit of hope still, because it has been rough at points. But even like this week, they only gave up 89 yards rushing. And I know a lot of that was because the Giants had to get away from the run, but like they were up 14-3.
I feel like we fucked up teams so much today.
Dan's still trying to watch basketball. I don't know.
I have a marker. I'm just drawing pictures and shit over here.
Can we stop for a second? Like, this defense put up 4 sacks and a pick 6 last week, and also like at least I can't remember off the top of my head how many sacks in week 1, and got a pick on Kirk Cousins as well. Like, this defense is playing pretty darn good.
Right. And they have a number of playmakers that have been fairly quiet. Yeah. So, and that's my point, is they've already been solid. I mean, when they start making plays, could be scary.
It kind of reminds me of like when college season would start. For the first like week, I was always on offense. Like, the offense seemed to have their way with teams and with our defense, and then our defense kind of slowly picked up. And I feel like that's how it is with the NFL right now. I feel like just defenses aren't up to the NFL or to the offense's level of play this season because of the lack of preseason games. And I think by like week 4 or 5, it's going to be back to normal. Our defense will be rocking it.
That's pretty fair. Let's go our last one here real quick. Yes or no, the Packers have a 100-yard receiver this week against the Saints. They gave up 100 yards, over 100 yards to Waller, last week against the Raiders. So, did they do it again this week?
If I knew Devontae's health, I'd be much more confident. I'm going to go yes. I think for the reason of, I think MVS is going to have another big catch that's going to get him close, and he'll have just a couple other ones that put him over the top. So I'm going to go yes. Not very confident, though. I'm going to do 3 Bakhtiaris.
Todd?
5 Bakhtiaris, and it's going to be our boy Trey.
Get out of here.
Hey, that's not a crazy statement anymore.
No,
that guy's a playmaker.
I mean, especially if Thomas and Adams aren't able to go or aren't 100%, Kamara and Jones is going to be the show. So I think Jones is going to show up. Wouldn't be the wildest thing to see.
No, true. Yeah, you're right. True. I'll go yes as well. I think the Packers do have it, and I think it's Devontae Adams. I think he plays. I think he comes out, and then we start having the conversation after week number 3. The national media will start having the conversation: is Devontae Adams the best wide receiver in the NFL because he'll play better than Michael Thomas?
Is Michael Thomas playing Sunday?
I don't know. I don't know if we've said yet. I don't know if we've heard. I think he's still leaning towards no, is what I've kind of heard. But but still, I think no matter what happens, I think Adams has a big game, and I know Adams is already considered by a lot of people nationally that he's the number 1 wide receiver in the league. But I think if you go into New Orleans on Michael Thomas's turf and take his lunch money, that does it for me. And I'll go 5 Bakhtiaris on this too. I'll pull with Todd and go big old 5 Bakhtiaris.
Hot.
So, Sunday night game, guys. Week number 3. You're going to be able to prepare yourselves, day drink all day?
Yes.
I hate night games. I
love night games.
I pace around the house all day. Like, I like the noon games. Let's get it done. Then I can take a nice little nap in the afternoon. I don't nap in the afternoon when it's a night game.
See, you know what? Here's my thing. I love it because then I can actually watch Red Zone from start to finish.
That's fair.
If it's a noon game, then 75% of the games have already played. I get to watch. Oh, that's true. I guess I could do that. I do.
Hey, Uncle Bob, can we get an address to Jimmy and Shell's? I'll come over for brats and kraut.
Dude, it was a party there last Sunday. We had a whole slew of burgers, brats, everything. We had a fire pit going outside, shots. It was a party on Sunday.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah,
cool. You're welcome. Yeah, come on over anytime, guys.
Dick.
All right, let's wrap it up here, guys. Where can people find you? Let the people know where they can find you throughout the week. What do you got to plug? Any final thoughts? Any words of wisdom?
I don't have any words of wisdom. Absolutely not. Final thoughts. Packers 3-0 starting Monday morning. We're going to wake up and it's going to be a beautiful day. We're going to be 3-0 and everyone can suck it. But you can find me every Wednesday night here on Lombardi's Bar. Thursday, I wasn't there this week. My daughter's a little sick right now. She has an earache, so I wasn't able to do Pack a Day. But usually on Thursdays, you'll find me at Pack a Day podcast in the morning. Every Sunday, I'll be on the pre-snap show. And then every Tuesday, you can find me on I'll have an article over at PackerReport.com come out Tuesday at 1 o'clock, as well as Tuesday night at 6. I'll be co-hosting the Jamal Williams show with Jamal Swag Daddy himself and, unfortunately, Jacob.
Todd, what about you?
I'm doing a lot less than Jimmy. At the Todd V on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Go find me.
Find me.
Like I said, just create some burners, get my followers up. I'll send somebody a couple pairs of shades because on it, like these things are good. I can't see shit in these. Have an article coming out, Game On Wisconsin on Friday morning, matchup of the week.
Awesome. I'm on there as well, at DK all the way. You can find me there. And you can find me every Sunday morning with my super scientific accredited NFL picks on Game On Wisconsin. Last week we did Simpsons episodes, which was a lot of fun, and got something very sweet for you this week. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You can that's called a tease in the biz. So you can check that out every Sunday morning. But
Nice.
Until next week, everybody. And also real quick, let you know again, tomorrow, Shannon Sullivan on Open Book with Eli and Zach. Make sure you check that out. Subscribe on the YouTube channel now so you don't forget. Get the reminder when they go live. Do not miss Shannon tomorrow on Open Book. So, yeah, like I said, subscribe. Make sure you're there. And then you'll also be notified when we go live, which is every single week, 7:30 Eastern or 8:30 Eastern. So it was 7:30 Lambeau time. I'm going to go sleep off all these drinks that I've apparently had. So until next week, everybody, after a 3-0 start, cheers and
Cheers.
go Pack, go.
Go Pack.
There we go.